What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be breaking down the spoilers for My Hero Academia chapter 332 as the fight between Shigaraki and Star and Stripe continues. Now, the way this particular chapter ends, it seems like it could be the end for one of these two characters, and I'm not going to give anything away at this moment, but just know there will obviously be spoilers in this video. If you watch the channel quite often, then you'll know that I haven't done spoiler reviews for a few weeks, and that was because I was waiting to set up this whole new camera and get everything ready. I still don't fully understand how exactly it works, but all I know is it's better quality than my crappy webcam which I was using before, so yeah, it's an upgrade. Before we jump into the spoilers though, I should remind you guys that these are the fan translations, and so on Sunday when the officials come out, those will be a lot more accurate, I guess, and they'll have a lot more details, but for now this is the best we got. Okay, so the chapter begins with a flashback of Star and Stripe in what appears to be an army training camp. The other cadets were laughing at her for not being able to increase her physical capacity, and in the narration she talks about the limits of her new order Quirk. She was frustrated that she couldn't find a rule that would significantly improve her strength, and many people associated this lack of strength with the fact she was a woman. Now, this is pretty interesting because a couple of chapters ago, we found out that Star and Stripe has a constant rule in herself that gives her super strength, and so, what we're seeing in this flashback is kind of a contradiction of that. So my only two explanations are that number one, this flashback took place before she discovered the rule that she currently uses to give herself super strength, or number two, maybe the rule that she's using right now doesn't significantly increase her strength in the way she wants, because as the chapter goes on to say, she wants to reach All Might's level, which is virtually impossible. This is directly referenced in the next line, which says the other cadets joked that Star and Stripe is too hard on herself because she wants to be as strong as All Might, but they said they would always be there to supplement her shortcomings. Back in the present day, the intercontinental missiles that the Americans launched in the last chapter are said to be on the way. One of the pilots asks Star if she'll be able to touch them, and she confirms that she can, but she'll have to give up the lasers rule to do so. In case you missed the last chapter, the lasers rule is referring to the rule that she made which combines several different lasers into just one giant laser, and since then she's been using it to pin down Shigaraki with the giant aura of air that she made in her own image. Yeah, this quirk is pretty crazy. I mean, a sentence like that probably would never have been heard until she's been introduced to the series. Like, it's pretty ridiculous what's going on, but yeah, that's what she can do. Anyway, she asks the pilots to be the ones to restrain him when she turns off this particular rule, since once the lasers are gone, there'll be nothing holding him back. At the same time, Shigaraki begins to realize that this laser can't be Star's final attack, because there would be no reason for her to keep on using it, even though she can clearly see it's not killing him due to his regeneration. The spoilers say that he realizes something else must be coming, and he decides to go for a gamble. Meanwhile, up in the sky, after doing a countdown, Star and Stripe finally deactivates the laser and grabs the intercontinental missiles with her giant hand made of air that she created in the last chapter. She gives a new order that says the missiles will rotate, but as she's doing that, Shigaraki jumps out of the sea towards the sky, with all the pilots shooting at him simultaneously. As this is happening, the missiles complete one full rotation, and the air giant presses them directly at the spot where Shigaraki is. The name of this attack is State-of-the-Art Hypersonic Intercontinental Cruise Punch, which is a mouthful, and judging from the full context of the fight so far, and the conversation that she had with that guy who looks like the guy from Star Wars, I feel like this is the single strongest attack she has to offer. Everyone is thrown back because of the impact of this cruise punch, and even Endeavor is able to see the explosion from Japan. However, Shigaraki comes out of a hole in the ocean floor, with his skin peeled off and a smile on his face. I can't show it in this video, but just looking at the panel, it's probably the most horrifying he's ever looked. Like, he genuinely looks like a decaying zombie with no skin, no nose, no hair, but due to his regeneration, bits and pieces of him are growing back together. A narration box says that he is now able to freely control decay, and we see a panel of him from the war arc when he decided not to decay a part of the Doctor's lab. Now, what this is referring to is that during the war, there was the moment when Shigaraki awakened and basically destroyed the whole city, and in the lab there was one specific area that he chose not to decay, which was the area that had a bunch of different Nomus. And we see this later in the war arc when the Nomus all appeared, so the point is basically that, when he decays things, it's not random anymore. Before it was, if I decay something, it spreads and it destroys that thing. Whereas now it's more like, if I touch something, I can choose which parts of it I want to decay and which parts I don't want to decay. In this chapter, Shigaraki explains that after noticing a stronger attack was coming from Star and Stripe, and deducing that New Order's limit was 2 rules, he opened a hole in the ocean floor as soon as the laser disappeared, and he just hid inside. What this means is that the target that the pilots in Star and Stripe were shooting at, well, that wasn't Shigaraki. It was just a Nomu that he sent out as bait, but the real Shigaraki was seemingly hiding under the ocean floor. As the real Shiggy is jumping into the sky, the pilots mobilize to try and protect Star, but the Nomu then explodes and breaks their formation. Shigaraki then starts to jump from one jet to another, getting closer and closer to Star each time, and then he lands on the lead pilot's ship, who quickly arcs Star to crush both himself and the villain with her air giant. He thinks that Shigaraki wouldn't be able to survive a blow that big given his zombie-like state, and so the pilot offers himself as a sacrifice to guarantee their victory. In case that wasn't clear, what the pilot is saying is basically to crush Shigaraki and himself at the same time by Star using the giant air version of herself just to crush them. And at this moment she hesitates because she doesn't want to kill her friend. Apparently they've known each other since they were cadets in the military training, and so Shigaraki takes advantage of that hesitation by leaping towards Star and Stripe and grabbing her face. The chapter ends with a shot of him seemingly about to steal her quirk, like his hand is just fully on her face. And I guess we'll find out next week whether he's successful or not, but like I said in the intro, this could be the end of Star and Stripe. Now, is it guaranteed to be the end of her? I wouldn't say so, because there are a few outs that I can see. Number one is that Endeavor was mentioned in this chapter, like he can see the explosion from wherever he is, right? So feasibly, he could make it there in time, and just as Shigaraki's about to steal her quirk, Endeavor could just come out of nowhere, just punch her out the way, and separate them. Another way she can survive is maybe if at the last second she makes a rule that her quirk can't be stolen. I'm not sure if that would work. I guess it depends on who has the stronger will. Like, is Shigaraki's will to steal the quirk stronger than Star and Stripe's will to keep the quirk? I guess that would be a factor, I suppose. But yeah, I can't, besides those two options, I don't see many ways for her to get out of this. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I think the way it's being set up, it's like Shigaraki's gonna steal her quirk, because I guess if he doesn't, it's like, what was the point of this? But you guys, let me know in the comments down below what you think. Thanks for watching as always, and if you haven't already, then drop a like, hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, do everything. It's all good for the algorithm. And until the next one, peace out.